Yo, what's up, guys? A bit of a late start for me. Busy day, been on the go since 5 a.m. We're here, and I have plans all night, so I came home back to my house specifically for the boys. So I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Um, it is Thursday, July 23rd, 2:10 p.m. I was in the city earlier for the public workout. I was there before it started, talking to some of my boys down there in the media, some of the fighters, and then I dipped out because I had some other meetings, business stuff. And I do want to let everybody know, full transparency regarding the Liam Wilson Steph Fulton fight. After this live stream, I'm gonna head back down to the city. I'm gonna link up with Paulie. We're gonna kick it. I'm gonna take him through, take him to some of my favorite little spots, and I want to pick his brain on a few things, and then I'll let the boys know what I know. But as of now, I don't have action. I haven't placed anything on Liam versus Steph. We know that Steph was not at the open workouts. Liam was. I kind of knew this would. Where's Youngin at? Youngin, we were live streaming the arrivals 2 nights ago, and I brought this up. I said that Fulton looks massive. I was like, "There's no way he's going to make 130." He has 5 days. He was, and I guess what I was being told is that he's cutting weight, but we'll see. Hey, Jay's going to come on, so I'm going to bring Jay on. What's up,
What's
Julius?
up? What's up,
What up, buddy? How you doing, mate?
man? I feel what you've been saying, man. People really, they just got a deep love for Spence, man. I've been seeing all the internet. They just have just a real connection with him.
Rightfully so, too, right? And that's something that I think this is a testament to our community is that what we're building here is we could disagree and we could avoid all the toxicity in the normal comment section because it was the Spence Bud Crawford fight week, Julius, was the thing that kind of sparked me in wanting to create a community to where we could break down fights and disagree and not get emotional. And here we go again. Yeah, and you know what? I understand. Errol ran the division for a half a decade, and people love him, man. And it creates a bit delusion.
Yeah, but it's like it's similar to the Conor McGregor thing because I remember you talking about like the whole world took Conor McGregor essentially. It's
It
except our community.
excess isn't that was in 92% of all bettors in Las Vegas bet on Conor McGregor except us. And like because we have our own little community, I was shocked when I read that stat. I was like, surely everybody's gonna take Max. And no, the whole world was on Connor. And you know, what's kind of interesting to me, Julius, is that I don't know if it's because I'm in it and I live right here. All of even the media, so the local media, they've never been completely on board with Tim. By the way, like the boxing content creators down here, the journalists, only No Limit, and then a few that are connected to Costa and the Zoo family. And I'm going to the fights Sunday, and I just watched two posts from guys that I'm going with who are going for Spence, and these are Aussies, and it's kind of like I get it. We want to believe in boxing's a romantic sport. We want to believe in the comeback story, and posting videos of Errol hitting the pads with the title that says he's back and he looks sharp and he looks clean. I'm like, you guys are gaslighting people, man.
Y'all, pad work can be a mirage, man. It can, you know what I'm saying? Like 5 to 10 seconds of pad work cannot replicate a tense 3 minute round. You know, it cannot nothing can replace that. When you getting hit, when sweat is, you know what I'm saying, when you sweating, your lung, like I say, when Arrow, it's been a while since Arrow Spence, his lungs gonna start burning. Well, you know what I'm saying? Real things that you cannot replicate, you cannot simulate unless you get in there. And I just feel like, to be honest with you, I think it's gonna be a sad showing, man. The more I look into it, man, I think it's gonna be a sad. If you notice the trend this year, Joyce, McGregor, uh, you got a lot of older fighters, man, who don't know. I just seen Austin Trout got knocked out in bare
Yeah,
knuckle.
yeah. Paulie got
They
knocked out a month ago. in bare knuckle. It flew under the radar. But Paulie Malignaggi got knocked out in bare knuckle. Bare knuckle fought for a title a couple weeks, like a month or so ago. The thing is, what is hard for me that there's one thing with cheering for Errol. I understand it, but to just cheer for Errol and disregard the logic of what he's attempting to do. David Goliath here says, Julius, do you have any stats on fighters with a 2+ year layoff? And obviously, David Goliath is a JSB insider, and we know that Julius has an encyclopedia of stats. Any, maybe not 2+ year off layoff, but maybe Julius, speak to the fact of what Errol is going up against come fight night.
Well, every now and then, I want to help the community. Every now and then I might drop on my variables. The variable in this fight is favorites over the age of 35. They have the highest upset. If any variable in the variables of upset, a favorite over the age of 35, that's that right there. Whenever I see a favorite 35, 36, 37, nah, I'm not taking it. Hey, you gonna have to nah,
That
man.
is fascinating. And guys, what Julius is talking about, Errol Spence is 36. He's the favorite on the line here. Now, you have to understand, guys, the line here, the money coming in and out, is all solely dependent on the bettors. And we know who's the bigger star internationally, obviously Errol Spence. If you were with me during fight week right now here in Sydney, and we'd go out and we walk around the town, you would think that Errol Spence was the hometown guy. It's crazy.
And we understand, you as the promotional companies, you have to, you can't say, you cannot talk to the weaknesses of Errol Spence, because if you notice, I've been watching a lot of No Limit. Nobody brought up the car crash. Not one commentator brought up the car crash. Not one commentator brought up his alcoholism. Not one. Man, like I said, during that car crash, he had to replace all the teeth in his mouth, man. He had broke his jaw multiple, like, no, man, like, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey man, at the end of the day, man, I look at it like they helping us out, man. The guys who I'm not with my heart, man. I love Eric Spence, man. I said,
Same. I like what you just said there. Go on. I'm not with my
man,
heart,
watch all his knockouts, man. I've been
bro.
watching a decade,
Same.
man. You know what I'm
Same.
saying? But it's
I'm
like,
I'm a bigger Spence fan. I've been if you I was never it's I've never been a Tim Tszyu fan. I've watched his career. I was a fan of his pops. I had his dad on my podcast. I've interviewed Costa multiple times. So it's not like I'm picking Tszyu because I'm a fan of Tszyu. I'm a bigger fan of Errol. What you just said, I'm trying to make money. Like this is we're trying to make money here. And Tszyu plus money to me is like, what do we do? Like, come on now. You think I'm going to take Errol as a favorite? With are you crazy?
I was just talking to my dad, about this a couple hours ago, and he was bringing up George Foreman. But I told him even George Foreman and Sugar Ray Leonard, right? These are the most
Yeah.
famous examples. But they
Yep.
have tune-up fights. They didn't jump straight back in. Sugar Ray Leonard did not jump straight back in with Hagler, and Foreman didn't jump straight back in with them killers in not Holyfield. He built
Yep.
his way up. Man, he
Yep.
jumped straight back in with even in Tim Tszyu last fight. He was going for the knockout. It was
He
just
was. He had him hurt, dude. He had Dennis Nurya hurt multiple times. He got headbutted in that, which caused the cut. Because I see this narrative like Tszyu struggled with Nurya. No, he didn't. Tszyu was landing bombs. If that fight goes down in the UK, the ref probably would have stopped that fight, the Dennis Nurya fight. Nurya was undefeated. Anthony Velasquez was undefeated. I'm not saying they're A plus guys. I'm not saying the world titleists, but we know even at the club domestic B minus level, it's tough to stop undefeated fighters. It's a thing. If you're a pro boxer and you're an undefeated guy, no matter who you fight, you're going to think you could win. So it's kind of tough to get those sort of guys out of there. You said the media. They don't talk about the car crashes. They didn't talk about um, the alcoholism, the 3 year layoff, but also when you look at the Ugas fight, Errol was always known, this was in 2022, as a guy who will take one to give one, break your spirit, break your will, break your body, even he'll take your best shot. He wasn't, I mean, he was up on Ugas on the cards, but he got wobbled against Ugas. He was getting hit against Ugas. His legs wobbled multiple times against Ugas. And I think that was the beginning, the writing on the wall in terms of his durability. And then you saw it against Bud. Bud dropped him what, 4 times at 147. A guy who cut his teeth at 35. And this fight's at 160. And you can say all you want about Tim Tszyu getting stopped against Murtazaev and the Seb fights, but I can't get past that this fight's at 160. Errol hasn't fought in 3 years. Errol looked awful. I, to me, Errol's best days were 2015 to 2018. He after the car crash, it's a different guy. So I understand that people want to see this sort of like come from. I think he's going to get stopped. I don't think it's going to look good either.
Oh yeah, man. I went heavy, man, or no distance, and I got no distance at 130 in the week. Now it's going down to I see and some or on my book about 180. Mine's 180.
Jay,
Um,
let me ask you this: other than like me, is there anyone else publicly that does what we do, saying that Zoo's going to win? Because I can't find those people. Which these are my favorite fight weeks because nobody publicly was taking Brandon Figueroa, and we took Figueroa. No one was publicly taking. Um, a lot of people were taking Thurman. Um, Josh Kelly. No one was taking publicly. Who's taking? I've all the pro boxers who are analysts I've heard are taking Errol.
oh no, no, man. You man, I was just talking with a dude. I'm gonna try to do a collab with him next week. He likes Spence by stoppage. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to him other
Yeah,
guy. I was just
uh,
talking to that's big. They think he going they believe that this break they look at the break
the break
as
is a
man,
recharge.
he got time to heal, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. They think he gonna come in and steamroll Zoo. That's I
Yeah,
literally it's like they think it's gonna be a slaughterhouse. They don't think it's gonna be competitive. Like, nah, man. It's the reason he the favorite. Like I said, around the world, man, it's the reason he the favorite, man. People like it's the reason he there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
that's the
more
money. That's the money coming in. I wanted to put a bow on a point you brought up about your father. He mentioned Sugar Ray Leonard and he mentioned George Foreman coming back and doing what they did. What they did though, and this is like without getting too philosophical, this is as men as we get older in general, not just in boxing, but boxing's a great metaphor. Any boxer, the biggest trick any boxer will ever do the older they get is try to be the guy they were in their 20s. If that fighter who's in their mid to late 30s tries to rewrite history and look in the mirror at 38, 39 years old and think that they're the 21-year-old kid and can fight the same way, that's an illusion. What you have to do is erase that and start over from scratch and evolve. Foreman did that. Foreman's style in the 70s wasn't the same, obviously, style when he came back. You know what I'm saying? He changed his style. It was obviously a bit different. He kind of stayed in the pocket more. You know, the parrying, the punches, that sort of thing, countering, high guard. So I like Errol. People keep showing these highlights from 2017 against Kell Brook. That was a decade ago. If he fights like that, he's getting stopped. And he
uh
can't like fighting off the back foot. I think people are like, yeah, but how good has Zoo looked? I think Errol is so shot that it doesn't matter how it does. Like I think Zoo is going to walk right through him just
oh
with
see
straight basic sharp punches. 1-2, 1-2. He'll throw the 1-2, the double jab, and I don't think Errol's punch resistance is going to be there.
and he choke out. Another thing I've been looking at, why is Spence so sensitive this week? Like, what is going? Why are you so irritated? I've never seen him this irritated. Like, Zoo
I
ain't the
think it's a
first.
it's a it's a farewell tour. It feels to me it's a funeral. If I feel like it's a eulogy.
It's like he's so mad at Zoo for saying something. It's like, bro, people been talking to you like this. What is you so upset with Zoo for? Like to me, in a sense, you said earlier this week. Like I said, man, I think he financially struggling. And as you right, this is a similar to Conor McGregor. This could be, I hate to say it, people conspiracy theories, humiliation ritual, man. I'm just being real, man. It's like
Bro,
he don't want to be there. I do not see a fighter who is happy to be there. He's just so upset. I mean, he's never been like this. I've never seen him this irritated. Or it's almost like he just can't wait to get back to America. He's like, man, I'm in this fucking place. He's just so upset. And because
he
he
lied Tuesday night during the grand arrivals. We were streaming it in the Discord. He lied in front of the whole world, and nobody called him out except our chat. Christos called him out. Boss Christos mentioned it. I think Adu mentioned it when he was asked about why did you snub Tim. Errol said, "Oh, because Tim's gonna sit there and talk about taking out my retina." He was like, "We're not friends." It's like that's not what happened, bro. You guys were in Vegas and you walked past each other in Vegas 2 months ago. This is all public record, and you snubbed him there. And then afterwards, Tim said, "Because of that, I'm gonna take your retina out." He said it afterwards. So like hearing Arrow manufacture things. Also, the interview he gave about Derek and just totally and I'm glad Derek spoke up for himself. I'm talking about, obviously his former coach, Derek James. Derek James isn't really a guy who speaks a lot, but Errol gave an interview and said that he didn't get any southpaw sparring. He didn't get any sparring for the Bud Crawford camp. That's why he looked bad. And Derek's like, "What are you talking about? This dude had a rib injury. He came to the gym hurt." And so like hearing Errol not hold himself accountable for that still to this day, and then put it on Derek James as if it was an error in his camp not giving him southpaw looks on why Terrence beat the brakes off of him, and then hearing him Tuesday night lie in front of everybody. Maybe he just forgot. Maybe he's that shot to where his memory doesn't is that messed up. But I think he needs the money. I think this is a cash out. I think he didn't take a tune up because there's no money in a tune up, and he's so washed that in a tune up people would see that, and then there's no money. So it's like, all right, I'll fly to Australia. I'll get a couple $1,000,000, and I'll take whatever's coming to me. That's what I think is happening.
Man, I'm being real with y'all, man. Like I remember I watched this boxer, Duke McKenzie. He's in England. He said, man, and I said, how did you know when it was time to go? He said, man, he said, I stepped in the ring, the bell went, and I ain't know where I was. I seriously think that's like this Saturday. That he went,
Bro,
the bell gonna ring. He gonna look around, see all these people. He gonna like, what the fuck going on? Why am I here? I'm just gonna, you know what I'm saying. I don't see Spence biting down
mm-mm.
like that, man. But I see Zoo. Zoo is damaged goods too, but he got more. He to in this situation, it's like it's all for Zoo, man. Zoo can knock out Spence. It's
I
like
think so. I
oh
think
man,
so. I think so. And then getting a name like Spence on his resume as well. Um, you know, 22,000 people Sunday, which will be Saturday night your time. The atmosphere is gonna be insane. I'm at these odds that I have on the screen are absolute. So still, the money line hasn't shifted, but everybody's saying Zoo or Spence by knockout. Not Tim plus 215, Errol plus 160. I mean, Errol was never a one punch guy at 147. So like to think like Errol's whole thing, he's gonna bury you and break you down. Like, how could we expect him fighting with 13 pounds heavier to all of a sudden have more power? And because speed creates power, guys, body weight does not create power. When you think about the equation of the speed versus force, speed equals force, force creates power. It's a simple strength and conditioning equation, right? Just because you add 13 pounds from 47 to 60 doesn't mean it's going to equate to more power because you're heavier. You're going to be slower, so you'll have less power. And so I expect to see a sluggish Errol Spence, a delayed, even more delayed Errol Spence. And they said Ronnie is going to have him fighting off his back foot. Good luck with that. How are you going to make that kid a kid who's known for being a bully marauder fighting off his back foot? Did you hear it? People were saying that Ronnie Shields is going to have him using the entire ring. I'm like, all right, mate, we'll see.
it's something he's never done. He's always
Something
been
he's
a
never done.
plotting fighter. He's never been a quick foot. That's never been his game. Never, not one fight did he ever use the ring. Never. And like I said, I've seen every fight. Man, going back to Bundu, man. Like I said, I've never seen him. Never. And I'm gonna talk about this too. I was talking with some other YouTubers trying to spread the brand. A lot of man, I'm telling you, man. I like what you said. You said our community, man. We can educate people. You feel they don't know they saying that he got a southern draw. I'm like, bro, I'm from Alabama. I'm like, nah, that ain't no southern draw. That ain't nah, I got one. He ain't nah, that ain't no southern draw. I got
You
one.
got a southern
You
draw.
feel like nah, like I said, I'm from the country now, man. That's neurological damage. That's what I say. People so in love with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling people, and when it was two fights that made me really big on this. When Hopkins got knocked out by Joe Smith,
Mm,
Joe Smith was a plus 500, man. when Ali beat Cotto. I said, look, man, every time when that favorite is over the age of 35, everybody loving him. You know, they talking about the past. You don't have to be that great to beat Spence. Like Spence could lose. Like if you talking at 160, man, we could take the top 50 would beat Spence right now. See, that's the thing people understand. It's not only could Zoo beat him. I mean, shit, we could. I can go to any boxing gym and
What would Aaron McKenna do to Spence right now?
he would destroy him. Like
Exactly.
Eric McKenna, even I said, not even that's world level, not even
Yeah.
at world level. The George Litter would beat Spence right now.
George Litter.
The
Yep.
British middleweight champion would beat him, man. Like nah, like you give me the top middleweight.
Well,
Uh,
what's the definition in boxing of cashing out? Cashing out is using your name and brand for one last payday. Why do you think you're telling me if Errol still had a run in him, he would come to Australia? What are you guys talking about? If Errol was Errol, they're doing that fight in Texas. Why is that fight not in Texas? Why is Zoo not in Texas? Because Errol doesn't want to show everybody in Texas what's about to go down. I think the writing is on the wall. People are talking about Zoo is the tune-up. Are you out of your mind? Zoo is the cash out. Zoo is the cash out. I do want to give a shout out to Javier Cito 6705 with the super chat. He says, Julius, funny you mentioned Duke McKenzie. He was beaten by a boxer my grandfather trained, Daniel Jimenez, beat him for the super bantamweight WBO title. Fun fact. Shout out to the chat, Javier Sato.
uh, like he's reached like George Joyce. That guy that beat George Joyce, man, 5 years ago he would have stopped him in 2 3 rounds. But at a, you know what I'm saying,
100%.
it,
In
it's
a prime Errol Spence walks through Tszyu. A prime Errol Spence, 2017 Errol Spence. I mean, it'd be 2017 Errol Spence versus 2021 Tszyu at 154. It's a fun fight. It's a real. I would still like in my opinion 2015 2018 that era when Errol was knocking everybody the fuck out, especially 17 and 18 after he beat Kell Brook and became a champion. That, in my opinion, is peak Errol Spence. People are like, oh, he beat Danny Garcia, went the distance with a guy who cut his teeth at 40. He beat Mikey, a guy who brought up from 126, went the distance with Mikey Garcia. Like he was. What are we? You're acting like people are acting like Errol Spence is this kid who was having these viral moment knockouts. Those knockouts happened before the pandemic. It's 2026, man.
yeah, like hey, I seen they was asking all the PBC fighters. They was like, my heart is with Spence. It's almost like they couldn't say it. Like
They
it's like
couldn't say it.
my heart is with him, but my heart is like, man, we ain't asking you that. We not asking you that. We not
Yeah,
asking.
we're trying to make money. Like what we do here, we got to separate heart from wallet. If you can't compartmentalize heart from wallet, don't bet. And guys,
And
and all the boys in the chat, we got about 87 of you in here right now. Like the video. This fight only appears on one of my tickets, boys, by the way. You know, I got a lot of action like a lot of you boys have this weekend. I only have this fight on one ticket, and I got Tim on the money line, full unit as an underdog. So if he loses, what a story for Errol. If he wins, we'll just get to say we told you so. We'll told you so. Other than that, we move on and see. You know what I mean? And I think that's where like the boxing casual fan base in the comment section, they don't understand what we're doing. You know what I mean? They're like holding on to Errol as if they're gonna see 2018 Errol with the skin fade, with the shoulders popping out the side. You know what I mean?
yes, like it's a couple fighters this week who are using their legacy. Derevyanchenko, I keep
Oh,
hearing.
yep. Go on.
It's like man, he 41, man. Dude ain't made middleweight in 4 years, man. I know that weight cut. Oh my god, I know that weight cut's gonna be brutal, man. Oh
Bro.
man, that's gonna be man. And also I hate it. This is one thing, my biggest pet peeve. I some of the people in the chat do it. I don't trust a fighter when I ask a fighter, they say, hey, how was camp?
Yeah.
Fi-
Yeah.
Find me, find me a clip of a fighter who said Count was bad. Because if you go back in time, just on Spence again, if you go back in time to ask Spence, which I remember watching during the Crawford fight, he said, "Oh man, Camp was great. Camp was amazing." Then as soon as you get your ass whooped, I didn't. Oh, this was hurt. That was hurt. It's like, man,
What did you hear what Spence said Tuesday night about camp?
oh
When
yeah, now
Porter
you
asked
coming
him,
coming up
he,
excuses out. Excuses here, excuses there.
he
Excuses.
said he didn't. He said camp. He said he didn't like it. He said it took him a few. When I heard and guys, Errol's only 36. That like 36. in the grand scheme of things. And I only use myself. We can only use each other, right, to compare empathetic feelings when people say things like it felt a certain way. So at 44 years old, which I am, since 2020, October 2020, one of the things that I do is I run 100 kilometers a month, outdoor miles of road work, going on 7 years every month. I'm 44 years old, right? I only reference that because powerlifting, I spar, I box. I'm not a pro boxer. I don't know what it's like to have to cut all that weight either. But to say that he feels this way at 36, 36 is young, man. There's guys. Think of the runs some fighters had it in their mid 30s. Some guys have a renaissance in their career in their mid 30s. I know as of late, Kakachi recently, even though he didn't look in his last fight, had a little bit of a run. Bernard had a run. To hear him say that Errol is an old 36 with all the damage, the trauma, the alcoholism, how he carried himself outside of the ring before the crash. Errol is a very old 36, and I think Tim is going to take advantage of that early on. I think the game plan for me, Julius, should be right off jump. Remind Errol why he hasn't fought in 3 years. I would, and what do you have to lose, Tim? The later it goes, they're like Errol's going to win. The later it goes, I'm like, you guys are crazy. I think the later it goes, you might see Errol stopping in his corner.
I don't think he got 12 rounds in him. I had put that
How
poll
could
on my.
he? How could he have 12 rounds in him?
I don't know. Nah, I don't. He hasn't gone 12 rounds since, because he didn't go 12 rounds with Ugas. He hasn't gone 12 rounds since Garcia, and that was you talking about 5 years ago. No, my bad. No. There 6 years ago, Danny Garcia. Now he hasn't gone. That was 2020. He hasn't gone 12 rounds in 6 years. That's what you feel me like. But yeah,
So what do you feel about? So I do have Jaleel Hackett. I did a little double. My whole thing, guys, if you're new to the game, is my strengths as a bettor doing this for a living is doubling my money. And if you want to tell, you could tell. I don't tell anybody to tell, right? We work as a team as doing this. I like Jaleel Hackett on the money line at 56% return. And I took that with Ahmad Rita, who's fighting Paul Fleming in Australia, which is another crossroads fight. Both of these are crossroad fights. Jaleel versus Sergey. There's a lot of parallels in Hackett versus Sergey and Ahmad Rita and Paul Fleming. Hackett, you talked about Sergey. He turns 41 in October. He's coming. I don't like when guys in their 40s come down a weight class. You know what I'm saying? That never ends well. You're coming down a weight class in your 40s. Also, when people talk about Sergey, the first thing they say, he's never been stopped. Second thing they say, his best wins are losses. You know what I'm saying? So I think Hackett at 23 years old, his style, how big he is, how physical he is, I think there's a world where Hackett could get him out and be the first guy to crack that egg.
man, hey, look, like I said, the last time he fought me and Billy, he hurt his leg and he tore his bicep. That's just
He did
it.
not look good against Christian and Billy. He did not look good in that fight, did he? Did
He was
Derevyanchenko?
limping. He was limping. He couldn't. He was limping, and his arm was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and them injuries don't get good, don't get better as you get older. You feel me? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see him, man. Like, yeah, it's possible. Are they Hackett? He's a real guy. Hackett's a guy, man. He made Team USA. Like I said, that's one of my things. You make Team
Mm.
USA, man. I'm like, hey, I'm looking at you like, what I'm saying. You look at all the American champions, 90% of them on that Team USA. You make Team USA, you at least fighting for a championship. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think he gonna make easy work of this. And you're right, Paul Fleming. That 10-year age difference, yeah, it's like in the boxer, man, they never know when to give it up. They never know,
Do you
and,
know
and
much about? Did you know much about Fleming in terms of like the story so far of his career? Are you aware of or is he kind of like Do you not know much about Fleming?
now recently I have been looking a lot into Australian boxing since
Okay.
I've been I know he was a Olympian.
Uh huh.
I know he got knocked out by Suarez.
Do you know?
Uh,
Do you know that? That's why I asked. He was winning up big, and this was the moment he had. He already was like an Aussie sort of domestic legend, Olympian, and that fight was going to propel him to world honors. And he was up going into the 11th round. He got knocked out against Suarez, and then he takes 2 years off. and then maybe more than 2 years, and then fights. I thought he got beat against Jake Wiley. I'm not going to lie to you. And Jake Wiley's pretty basic. Jake Wiley has one gear, you know, and Fleming did not look good in my opinion against Wiley. And Amon Rita is a kid. I was at the Bruno. He fought a guy Bruno Ramina, in Sydney a couple months ago. Amon Rita is a young prospect. When you ask me, Johnny, who are your favorite Aussie prospects who you think that could challenge for world honors? I would say Amon Rita and Callum Peters, and both are on this card.
Hey man,
So
I've been Callum Peters, man. He's legit, man. I'll bring him up. I've been really looking to the Australian scene. I like Callum Peters. I like Paulo Acuso. Yeah,
yep,
these
he's on the card. Akuso's on the card.
I put these in a little parlay, my Australian parlay. Yeah, I like, man. I think it's a showcase for him. I think a passing the torch moment. Um, yeah, I think I like Callum Peters. They gon' they gonna position him right. I think he will fight. I see him fighting. I don't think he gonna be champion. I could see him fighting Amari Jones for
Oh,
a championship soon. Like I think because he keep fighting. He fought Joe
oh,
Shun.
Oakland Amari Jones, right?
Yeah,
Oakland Amari Jones is something different. There's two of them. The other Amari Jones is good too, but I remembered I made a mistake, a rookie error in watching the fight, and I was like, oh, this is Oakland Amari. Oakland Amari's different, and I picked him on points. I was like, this dude, he got like a first round stoppage. Oakland Amari's different. Do you think what was the other question? What did you watch the Joe Sean James Callum Peters fight?
yeah.
Yeah. So that Joe Sean James was a guy, solid American domestic level guy, cut his teeth against Leicester. And then he was coming off that double knockdown fight in which he ended up getting, I think he ended up stopping his opponent. Or maybe he won on points. I can't remember. We watched it. And it was a close odds. For a 21-year-old Aussie kid, they bring a guy like Joe Sean down. I thought that was a great step up. And, Callum kind of tried to get Joe Sean out early and then had to dig deep a bit mid to late rounds because Joe Sean, showed his age and his maturity. And, I took a look, the 21-year-old is going to learn from that. He's in there with an Argentinian guy. Aussies love to bring Argentinians to the domestic level to sort of challenge their up and comers. It's a thing. Do you have action on Fulton and Wilson?
No distance, man. I don't know. I've been so far. I've been looking at. The more I look at it, I took no distance. I really want to see the weigh-in. I want to see if he
Y-
make 130 because you. I've been
Same,
looking. I've been looking
same,
at him in his face. He look a little full. Man, he look like right now he could be as high as 147 when he first
bro,
touched down. I think
bro. Yes, yeah.
his
So
attitude.
he didn't show up today.
He didn't show up today.
No, he didn't show up at the open workouts.
They had open workout with that. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay, I
was
see.
there. No, they're on TV. You could either go to No Limit or PBC, their YouTube. That's where I was at earlier. That's why I'm streaming so late. They did the open workouts for the public. Arrow, everyone was there except Steph, and I was told that he's cutting weight. And I'm meeting up with Malinaji after this live stream in the city, and I'm 100% because I know he got some insider info for us, and I'll put it. I'll put it in the Discord, but that's one of the questions because on Tuesday night when Paulie and Porter were interviewing Fulton, you could see this on YouTube. Fulton looked as big as Porter, and Porter walks around at like, he's short, but he's stocky, man. He walks around at least 180. I'm not saying Fulton was that big, but Fulton to make 130, and then I heard stories. I was told from Tommy that Danny Garcia's bar in Philly that it's like a known thing that Fulton's been hanging out in there a lot, and like the one thing about Liam Wilson, where his flaws may be, his footwork might not be the best, his ring IQ might not be the best, but that kid is going to fight for your money. He's always going to be determined, and he wants to seek and destroy with that lead hook. So if Fulton isn't in shape and doesn't have 12 rounds in him and isn't switched on, like I think there could be a world where Liam Wilson might be live here.
See, another thing is like this. Fulton is not a puncher, right? He hasn't got a
He'll
stoppage.
punch with you though. That's the thing. He'll trade with you though.
And and people may be looking at the Figueroa fight and they're gonna say he's gonna move around like that. I don't see that movement happening because I say if you look at the Foster fight, all that was gone. And to me, you don't come you don't come in that horrible. He was making a hell of a bunch of excuses.
He
And
looked horrible. Like, go on. Yeah.
he doesn't look like he to me, both him and Spence look like, man, I'm just here to get paid and go home. They just angry, they looking upset. Whenever a boxer start talking like this, right? People pick up this. Whenever they start talking about fuck the fans, whenever they start building that animosity with the fans, that's when I say, okay, he got one foot out because he wasn't talking like this. He's never talked like this before. Fuck what the fans think, fuck what you think. I've been watching some of his interviews. He's just so agitated. I know why he angry because he probably ain't ate none all week. He probably eating one banana every 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he probably pissed off because he like, damn, can't make no weight. But he just looked like I don't see no fire in his eyes, man. I don't
Yeah.
see it, man. But
I'm gonna answer Pacino. Pacino says, "How did Liam look? Liam looked real sharp. Liam is a guy who fights with a chip on his shoulder. Liam is a guy who his whole life has been around trying to become a world champion. Fell short against Valdez. Was in the fight until some awful decision making. The Navarrete fight probably should have left the world champion with that long ass count and then got stopped. And so Wilson is a guy. He looks great. He's big for 130. He's super aggressive. He's gonna move. It's just sometimes he struggles with cutting the ring off. We saw him against who's that Argentinian kid they brought up a couple foot when Liam Paro fought David Papo on the undercard. Liam fought against an Argentinian and he won, but the Argentinian slickness was kind of giving him a little bit of fits. And so I'm not saying gonna do that. Like, does Fulton like? I don't. I'm questioning is Fulton in shape, and if Fulton isn't in shape and he's going to rely to sit on the ropes with Liam Wilson, he could get stopped.
yeah, to me, yeah, I see a sad story for Fulton, man. I don't think we see Fulton again in the ring, man, because he ain't fighting at 35. He too small for 130, man. I don't see him moved up to 135 do anything. And I think at this point, been a two division champ, he's made a lot of money. I don't know if he kept it because I was looking at his Instagram. He was like, I bought a $10,000 belt. It's like
I know. I spent $1 million on clothes. He said.
he said he spent $1 million on
He said
clothes.
in his pro career since he turned over, he spent $1.2 million as an estimate on clothes. That's what he said. I could, and he said it as a flex. I'm like, keep that to yourself, bro. Like that's not a flex.
And it's like I just at this point, yeah, I mean, I'm saying no distance, that's plus 200. But yes, I could see a world, for those live betters, round one, I want to see his movement. Is he moving? Because man, Wilson is coming in. This is his world title opportunity. He
Yes.
gets to fight a two division world champion. This will be his best win by far. Like Wilson's going to come in like a madman, like from big that he's going to be on him. Uh, And first, I mean, if Wilson can put down Navarrete, that lets me know he got man. That's Navarrete a
Think
tough
about that.
motherfucker.
That was a 23 count too. Like I YouTube removed the video, but I did a video. I had a clock on the screen. I've said go, and you could see it from the time Navarrete hits the canvas to the time they stopped counting, and it was 23 seconds. Navarrete or Liam should have won the world title in that moment.
Yeah, what they did was I remember watching that fight. What they did was when Navarrete got up, the referee came in and like to talk to him or something. When they hold their gloves,
Yep.
because
Yep. Yep.
Wilson was ready, man. Wilson was a
Yep.
man, man. Wilson was a madman. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
You
And
you know what that reminded me of the first Usyk Dubois fight of how Wilson thought he became a world champion in that split second adrenaline hits, and then you find out you're not, and you have to fight. He gets stopped. Dubois thought he knocked Usyk out. It was deemed a low blow. You reset. You know what I mean? Like sometimes things like that happen in the ring, and it's just bad luck.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm gonna get my performance of the week. If I think who's gonna have, if we on Monday when we wake up on my Monday, your Tuesday. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Zuffa's on Monday. Where you at? Okay,
Yeah.
on
Yep.
Tuesday, Hitchens, man. I think Hitchens gonna put on one hell of a performance, man. I think Silas is perfect for him. They keep.
Mm.
I think, like I said, that 7 pound. I like when a fighter moves up in his 20s, not in
Uh-huh.
his 30s.
Yep.
That's because he's still in his Hitchens, still in his primes. Hitchens is real
Yep.
deal, man.
Yep.
You heard you say Hitchens is one of the best boxers, bar none, right now in the world.
100%, man. And it's weird. And the one thing that we'll never do on this channel or in our group is shade anybody if it's legit. People don't give Hitchens enough credit. This kid is world class with his timing, his speed, his jab, his footwork. Overall, how he, as a boxer, could use the ring, but he could be aggressive if he wants. You said the 40 to 47. We saw what 40 to 47 has done for Tiger. Tiger's looked like a totally different guy since adding that 7 pounds. Younger dude as well. Hitchens kind of similar in terms of the age and jumping up there. I just think that people Hitchens still doesn't get the credit he deserves, man. But I rate him. So you're thinking he might be live to stop Salas
Man, I think I think
plus
it's in New
310. Let's
York.
go.
It's in New York. The last time he was in New York, got a stoppage. The last time
Cambosis
he was
looked
at the
amazing.
Garden, he looked amazing versus
Look,
Cambosis.
Cambosis.
I think really, man, like I said, you're looking at the business interest. I think Dana White is putting both Belonga and Hitchens in a great opportunity, man.
Talk to me about Berlanga and Butler. You talk to the boys about Berlanga and Butler. You know who I like.
Man, a sneak. I put a little sneaky parlay, man. I like Belonga by stoppage, and I like Hitchens by stoppage. I think they're gonna show out. I think
Nice.
Butler's a sad story, man. Real talk, man. He's a real sad. He's one of them guys that hate to say it, I'm not wishing on nobody, but Butler has taken so much punishment in his career. Arguably, he's the oldest 30-year-old in boxing. Like
Yeah.
you say a little bit, but no, man. I've been watching clips of him, man. When he got stopped by Marauder, way
Oh,
back in 18, man. This is nothing new.
remember
Like he's
Janabek? The Janabek knockout?
man, when he got knocked out by Marauder, he
Murata.
came back to Canada and got stopped again by a Mexican journeyman. Like man, this dude he got stopped by Voney. Like
Patrice, he got stopped by a slick counterboxer, Patrice Boney. Shout out to Patrice. Yeah, like I thought Patrice beat Ammo on the down low. I know it's not a popular take, but Patrice Boney is not the biggest of punchers, and he stopped Butler. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. We love Eye of the Tiger promotions, right?
yeah,
We don't have to love the promotion because we love the fighters. We love the promotion because we make money off of their matchmaking. A side favoritism. They've done a good job on manufacturing Butler into this moment. They're getting a piece of the purse, obviously, right? But they've given Butler favorable matchups to look great, to suit his power, and he's been getting knockouts. Now, that, in my opinion, is tailor made for a guy like Berlanga. I know he's coming off a stoppage loss, but dude, Berlanga has skills, man. You guys, a lot of people hate on him, but Berlanga, he has skills, and I think he's at least a level above Butler. I think Butler's going to look real basic here.
man. Butler coming up for 160. He was getting knocked out by 160ers, man. It's gonna be the hardest he been punched. And
Hands down.
this fight reminds me of when Berlanga fought Quigley.
Good call.
No, not Quigley. The other Irish guy. He fought McCory.
P-Drag.
Okay, a Pedro McCory. That's what this
Yeah,
fight remind me of. It's like five knockout losses. That's
yeah.
just
And you're 30? Like,
at
wow.
world level by
Yeah.
like I said by extreme punchers, man. Like he was. Go look at Marauder. Go all the way back and look at Marauder. That was 8 years ago, man. And even that, you're right. They have put Butler in such favorable positions for a guy. To be honest with you, he ain't all that. Like I said, I get it. He's a French Canadian. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like
looks the part, like fit the optics. He's marketable. He has a TV friendly style at the domestic level. But the fan, like the betters, and it's our job in our betting community because it's to educate. Eye of the Tiger. you guys know we bet A side's top rank. I the Tiger feeds us. They feed families by taking. So part of that means that they're going to give their A sides favorable matchups. If Stephen Butler was a counterboxer or Stephen Butler was a defensive savant, they would be giving him matchups that were like domestic guys on the front foot, and Butler would look like Shakur Stevenson, right? But Butler's strength is being a knockout artist, even if that's at the domestic, at the domestic level. So his highlight reel looks good, and I bet you there's people betting on him to knock Berlanga out. But I think that's a fool's bet. I think that's a banana peel if you're taking Butler by knockout.
Yeah, and low key, um, okay, we touched on those other card, the Pringle can, that card, her
Who'd you say?
Pringle can. What's his name? Christian Pringle. My bad, Christian Pringle.
Uh,
I'm thinking about some Pringles, but yeah, okay.
Prenga.
Uh, Pringle.
Yeah. So are you getting action on that card?
The odds have finally dropped for those in America. For those who are I'm on Bet USA, my bookie, Bovada. That's what I get. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I don't
AJ
know.
Prenga. Yeah, AJ Prenga. Are you propping that? What are you taking a under? You taking a stoppage win, or would you? Are you?
Uh,
Is AJ getting rounds?
I got 4.5. No, I think he coming in to showcase. I think I like, man. He ain't got no haircut. I like his vibe, man. He coming in.
He
He
looks in
got that.
shape, man. They showed him just doing a little bit of shakedown shadow work. He looks in shape. I think I have a prop. I think there's a sneaky prop floating around in the group that is AJ maybe under. I think it was Youngin who put a moonshot together that pays plus 700. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So AJ Prenga under 2.5 pays plus 110.
Oh, they got 2.5. Okay, yeah, because I took on my book under 4.5. Okay, so yeah, okay.
So I do have a sneaky play this one, and I tailed Youngin's moonshot parlay. Rounds in fight. Yeah, so under 2.5 right now. It's people have jumped on it a bit. It's about 1-1, so you could double your money if you think that Julius and I are spot on with AJ's going to come out and want to prove a point early. So
Yeah, I mean, well, great. Y'all got 2.5. Okay, I took under 4.5, but
how about
and
Hamza Shiraz? What's the prop to play on Hamza? Because is that fight? So another prop that pays two to double your money. Hamza's fighting Simon Zackenhuber, a kid who is coming off a loss against Powell August, and Powell August is the dude who's fighting on the same card. If you take Hamza between rounds 1 and 6, it's plus 100.
man, I like 1 to 2, man. I
You
think
think
that's going.
You know what? Hamza's grown on me. I got to be honest. Watching him, I wasn't the biggest fan of him at 60 because all that shit he was talking that he was going to clean out the division and beat Alam Hanalei and beat Adamas, and Adamas beat the brakes off of him. And then when he went up to 68 and he dog walked Berlanga and fought Berlanga's fight too. Like Berlanga was landing. It wasn't like Shiraz. I didn't know Shiraz had that much nuts. You know what I mean? Like Shiraz grew on me in that fight, and then watching him totally, get paired up with a guy who shouldn't have been in the ring with him. I think Shiraz isn't a kid who likes to play with his food. He wants to get you out of there.
One thing Shiraz did and behind the scenes, him and Whitaker, they got with Andy Lee.
Andy
And they
Lee
had changed him, Whitaker and Shiraz. When they got with Andy Lee, completely changed their game.
changed their mindset. Not only changed the tactics, changed the mindset too. Like Andy Lee was a real pro. Great reputation in the game. Not only just in Europe, great reputation internationally. Joe Parker too. So like, that's a good point.
And
You
I think
know,
he's been looking violent, man. He been looking violent at
looking
160.
violent. I didn't think he had it in him. He looks him at 160. He might be able to just go on a nice run here at once because he's in his grown man already. It's like some of the guys at 168. I'm sorry, him at 168. He's in his grown man. I know he walks through this guy early. They've been talking about him versus Diego, and I know everybody would be so quick to throw. Everyone's so quick to throw Diego out. I get it. I don't get it. I'm a Diego fan. I'd love to see that fight, Pacheco versus Shiraz.
I'm going with Shiraz because I personally think Pacheco needs to go to 175. Man, he been making
So
168.
big. He
He
looked,
been making
dude, yeah,
he been making 168 since he was 17. Man, dude,
so
25.
big. So big too, man. Like
Yeah,
I like the Buddy McGirt link up, man. I love the tenacity. Like when you're watching Pacheco, there's moments where you kind of want to pull your hair out because you could see he has so much more to give, but he's still figuring it out in moments how to be that aggressive. But I've always liked Pacheco. 6'4", 79-inch reach, good body puncher, could fight you at range. Buddy McGirt made him use the jab this fight, made Aleem look totally basic, beat the piss out of him, and we'll see. I don't know if I could just say that I would take Shiraz over him. I'd have to think about that.
how you
But
feeling about? Do you think a Jarko he has a chance? You think he's live?
I don't think Carmen Agarco's live at all. I think Carmen Agarco is a solid guy. I think he's one of these guys who looks great on the scales. He has a good chat, nice little domestic following, 18-0, nice little record. I think Josh has been known sometimes to fight down to his opponents. I think Kelly is going to shine in this fight. I think the belt around his waist. I think the confidence that he once lost is at an all-time high. I think Eddie has been in his ear. If I know about this, I'm sure. Like the rumor is, and I think it might come to fruition. Josh does what he's supposed to do against Agarco, and they're selling out Wembley for a unified world title between Josh and Jerron. And then that winner goes to the States, and now we got an undisputed title at a big stadium in America with the winner against Seb. And in my opinion, what do we talk? Best sport in the world. Like, so I think Kelly is gonna use his hand speed. I think Kelly's gonna, if you watch Kelly's whole career, I talked about this on my live stream earlier yesterday. I could tell with the guys, the commentators, shout out to 3D. I could tell that he didn't watch his entire career. Josh Kelly used to be a dude. If you watch him in the amateurs and he turned over in 16, the shit talk on Kelly from all the naysayers was he gets hit too much. Why is he standing in front of his opponent? Why is he taking shots he doesn't have to take? He can make his world much easier. You know what I mean? That used to be the knock on him. And then he, gets the draw against Ray Robinson, gets stopped against Avanesian, and adjusts his style a bit, much more efficient with his output, much more efficient, uses the entire ring much more, picks his spots, world class hand speed, great power. And now what do they say? Oh, he only threw 16 punches around. It's like, bitch, he boxed his ears off. So I think with Kelly, he'll revert. I want to see him revert back to early on in his career and stand with the Garco and be aggressive with him and use his countering and speed and stop him. That would be a statement.
You
So
know, yeah. One thing is like it's just like this, right? Yes, I took Murtazalev, and I'm not. It was a close fight. It
it was a
wasn't.
popular pick, bro. Everybody
I,
did except me. I got cooked before that week. That's
I,
why it was a close fight. It was a close fight. But
and I
But
just
I think Kelly made Murtazayev look like a way that no one had ever made him look. Just, you know what I'm saying?
he
Kelly
wasn't
kind of
scared
took
to
his
stand it.
aura.
He wasn't scared at all.
He took his aura.
He wasn't scared at all. And that's why I look at this fight right here. I say, man, if you able to put Murtazalev down, because I still think Murtazalev could beat.
Ooh,
I mean,
same,
I still think he a top 10. I would
same.
like. I mean, you
I want to
know,
see Murtazayev versus Madrimov. Let's go.
I think he beats him. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think Murtazalev is live against it. Well, I'm saying
Virgil.
what,
Murtazayev versus Virgil.
man. I think Pete, man. Hey, man. I'm not too high on Virgil, man. Like
I've never,
at
yeah,
this point, he's
a
hey,
30-year-old prospect.
bro, they don't never bring us up. I want that hate about Virgil's little tangent is you talking about boots getting touched up, bruh, Virgil, you got put in the hospital by
Boachuk.
Bocha put you in the hospital, bro. Like
Yeah.
what you talking about? Like
I
you
thought Boachuk won that fight. I got to be honest with you.
and yeah, you got right. Yeah, me too. I took Bocha.
I
He
thought
was
Boa won that fight.
put
Yeah.
you down in the first round.
Couple
What you talking?
times. Domesticated you a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so and I just feel like Kelly, man. He look what I think I can't is like Cayman Jarko has not looked dangerous in any fight in 5 years. He has not. I was saying in my live stream, He has not hurt an opponent in 5 years. Not put him down. He has not hurt a journeyman. He fought a 40-year-old journeyman, Great Dennis, with 11 knockouts, 5 knockout losses. And he didn't even wobble him. He didn't even bother him. When they put Flavius Bale in the ring with Kelly, he sparked him out. No, no,
One round.
no, no time for fun and games. I
One
think the
round.
real Kelly by stoppage is live, man. I like that,
I
man.
I think so too, man. Plus 500. I think
Plus
so too.
500. Oh,
Yeah,
whoa, okay.
yeah. The Kelly. I already played it. I shared it. It's so I got this. I got Kelly by stoppage at plus 5, and everyone, you're gonna call it crazy until it's not. But I remember when who's the kid? The Brit went to Ireland and fought Aston Brown. Sam Gilly. I remember Sam Gilly was a plus. He was a 2-1 dog and a plus 600 to stop Aston Brown. And I sold the house on Sam Gilly by stoppage, and he stopped him. And that was there's similarities. I know Garko's undefeated, represents Ireland. Um, Aston Brown's undefeated. I think he was 9-0. Garko's a little bit more seasoned, way better resume. But there's a few parallels I see in levels. Shout out to Agarco for getting a world title. I mean, I thought he struggled a little bit in his most. He's never looked really great to me. And so, if you want to sprinkle something, I think Kelly by not. I mean, he's not gonna. I don't think Josh is gonna go out and play with his food. He's a world champion now. You know what I'm saying?
And like you
And
said, he knows that after this fight, it's either gonna be in Wembley, and I've been looking into the England. He's with the Sunderland people. Like I said, they be giving out stadium fights in England. Like I said,
they,
they giving them out like Oprah. Like who wants a stadium fight? You want a
who won?
stadium fight? Just giving
Well,
them out. Like
Well, Josh
it,
is a legend in Sunderland. So one of my mates. Shout out to Tony Jeffries. Tony Jeffries is another Sunderland legend. He's a boxing, Olympian, and had a short pro career. He's a content creator now, but he's from Sunderland. He's the one who told me about Josh when Josh was in the amateurs. So Kelly, for a decade, he's been a legend in Sunderland. That fight with Boots though would go down at Wembley because it's so much mass. It's so much bigger.
okay, so it's like okay, I be thinking that all the stadiums like because I am like I'm very intrigued with the England scene. Like they just it's the only crowd where people gonna be like chanting in
I love
unison.
British boxing, bro. I
Haven't seen
love
anywhere else.
yeah, bro. I love British boxing for all that it encompasses. And the crowd, the chants, the announcers, like they'll sell out like a local pub hall fight. We'll go like I was in like London has this little hall. It's slipping my mind where it only seats like 400 people, and like going at the energy. You could go see a show there. It'll come to my mind,
Your
and it's just
call.
yeah, your call, your call. That's exactly the one I'm talking about. And they do the walk-ins. They do the walk-ins elevated, so the ring is below, and there's like a second level, like an old YMCA that has a track, and then the fighters are up here, and they walk that. It's freaking dope, dude. They've been like British boxing. You got to look at British all international boxing, whether it's Brits, Americans, Aussies, Japan, they're all different products. It's like a different style of art, but it's still all art. You know what I mean? Some people like surrealism, Salvador Dali. Some people like, still photography. Some people like sculptures, but it's still all art. And
Like
uh
like
and you gotta
Japanese, they
yeah,
silent. I like that too. Like
bro.
they silent. Like it's like they just in tune with it. Like I said, yeah. The more I've been really trying to get my database with Japan and Australia because I never really watched. Because really we couldn't, but now I figure out a way to watch Japanese fights and Australian fights. But yeah,
The
man, it's man,
Discord, the Discord. I never, dude, until I started the Discord, I never had any way of watching any of these fights. It's shout out to the boys who stream it in there. But in Sydney, so one of our boys, he fights amateurs for Australia. Shout out to Kane, Sugar Kane McInerney. I do strength and conditioning for him. He had an amateur fight at a pub here in Sydney a couple months ago. Bro, this shit was this was more professional. It was the first time I went to an amateur Aussie match. They had ring girls, announcers, DJs. The whole place was packed. It was crazy. I was like, this is the Aussie amateur scene. because like in America, at least when I was a young buck, the amateur scene was like you're in a YMCA with like freaking, the ring is all kind of bougie. Like there's no food. Cats is bringing their lunches packed. It's all sort of disjointed. But yeah, it's a you got to look at it for all different products. You can't compare. You don't compare arts. So you don't compare. I wouldn't compare Japanese boxing to American boxing. They're two different products. So Kelly by stoppage.
Kelly by stoppage, on that card, I mean, they haven't dropped. I don't know. Have you got the props for the prelim fights on the
Which
Joshua Print? Um,
which is there one specific one? Satsumi. Well, I got Kelly fight, Satsumi fight, Alexander Kirchniak versus Patak, Mike Talon versus Orlando Pino, Jacob Bank versus Powell August, Nishant Dev versus Diaz,
you got any
Imeyov.
props? You got any props on those?
No, Bubal
Okay.
Andrade, Dudu Andrade's fighting. You see?
He's struggling because I'm thinking like, okay, you gonna get this tuna fight, and then what? They gonna feed you to who? Who you trying to get fed to? That's basically it. Like who are you trying to get fed to? Because he has
Well,
a name. Uh,
yep, 168.
who
I mean, I don't know. What is it? He's 38 now? There like what is he trying to do? I thought he retired.
he coming up from 154. I mean,
No,
he
Andrade's not coming up from 54.
nah, Andrade started his career at 154. I remember he
Oh,
fought
you mean early days. Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
thought like that's where you started at. You thought you up two weight classes.
Yeah.
Um Who,
Okay.
what are you? Because he know he doesn't have it. He's not going champion. I'm trying to see what young up and coming 168 in America. It's not too many right now. The 168 division is really big. Hold up. Hmm.
And what
I
is he trying to do?
I can see him being fed to who at 168 right now. I think. Yeah, okay. Who the prop man? 'Cause I would say I would say Bank. A Bank right now is not a prospect. A Bank is right now. We say he can after this fight. I seen they were talking about putting Bank in with Sherrod. But I like Bank, man.
Jacob
I mean,
Bank? He's fighting. His bank is 68.
yeah, Bank at 60. I like Bank, man.
How,
Bank,
have, have you seen Greatest Kraus fight?
man. Okay, I believe greatest cross is the greatest light
Dutch
heavyweight
box.
prospect,
Is he
bar
like
none in America.
is greatest light heavy?
Like in the world right now, I think he's the greatest. Him and I would love to
That's a
see
big statement. You just said Greatest Kraus, the Dutch boxer, is the best prospect or the best light heavyweight.
best prospect because I'm finna say
Okay.
Him and Atif Overton. That's a
Yep.
fight I would love, man. That right
Bro,
there,
yeah.
man. I would
Lord
love that
Fly, Pretty
fight.
Boy. Yeah,
I
Atif
would love
Overton. Shout out to Philly.
because man, Crowd
That's
is.
a good fight.
I know his dad. I remember I seen a couple of his dad, but I know where he coming from, and man, he's violent, man. He is
Krause's
no
dad was a
mercy.
legit fighter. Krause's dad looks younger than me, which is
He
crazy. When you see Krause's dad and him in the ring, you're like, are these dudes bro? That's his father. I
he
think
like a
he just had a fight.
he just like he was born and bred to fight, man. He just look
Yeah.
like no. He lives a samurai lifestyle. I see that he got married at 18, got like two, three kids. Like
Yep.
he's locked in, and I
Locked in.
was I could man easily see and I'm like even him and Overton, I think him and Overton beat better BF and Bivol right now. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Whoa.
Right now.
Julius with the hot takes. Julius with the hot. So you're okay. You think right now, and I'm not arguing, I just have to comprehend this. You think right now, Greatest Krause and Atif Overton beat Better Beeve and Beevil right now?
Better be can't have a count without breaking his leg. I don't know every camp he has, he getting hurt. He 41.
He's
He's
41.
been making 175, and he been making because he's made the same weight. He made like I think in the amateurs 178. He's been making that same weight for 20 years, and he's
Krause is a
been
big
dropped.
dude.
He been dropped cross fall as high as 200.
Yep.
Man, him and Overton right now. Because, like I said, I mean, you always say this, and you're right. We do look at the records, But a lot of times, because of the business, you don't get the opportunities. I think right now, if they was to, if Better BF or be Bivol was somehow in the fight and it got canceled and they called up Overton and Cross, I would go heavy on either one of them. Heavy, heavy on them.
Right? Dude, you know I'm high on Cross. Cross is fighting Sean Hemphill in August in a couple weeks. On a nice. I like DAZN's feature him. Sean Hemphill, you guys will recognize him from our show. We featured him. We've won money on him before. This is on a card that's going down in Leeds. Who's headlining this? Is it? They're giving him a push, man. They're giving Cross, but his handlers wouldn't let him take it. So he's on the Troy Williamson Callum Simpson card. He's the co-main.
Yeah, that fight, that fight right there. You thought Simpson, man, he's one of them fighters where he needs to be at 175. But again, he can't do it because he's built this name. Because I was watching Barry McGuigan on Talk Sport Boxing. He said exactly what I've been saying. He's saying, if you built your name at the weight class, if you take a fight at a higher weight class, you got to take a pay cut, major pay cut. Simpson too big for 168, man. And to be honest with you, I could see a similar he's there too long, and Simpson can hit a lot, man. He has no defense. He's easy to hit. That's a no distance fight all day. Under fight, because I took it this every fight, man. Every fight Simpson been fighting in outside of he fought the other dude, the teacher. I took no distance on under on. He been man getting paid on him. But yeah, man, that's next week. Hold up, that's next week.
August 8th. It's in a couple
Okay,
weeks. 2 weeks.
couple.
All right. So Julius, do you know an Aussie fighter named Jackson John England? He beat Jamel Herring. He lost to Liam Wilson. He's ranked number 13. He's a 130-pound fighter.
Yes, I know.
Well,
Yeah,
he just messaged me. So I saw him at the, and this is for all the boys. This is regarding Liam. This is regarding Ahmad Rita and Fleming, because Jackson fought Fleming. So he sent me a message, and I think it has to do with who he thinks is going to win. So I'm going to play it real quick, if you don't mind. So guys, this is Jackson John England. I think the IBF has him ranked number 12 in the world at 130. He's coming off a win against Jamel Herring and someone else. This is his take on Rita and Fleming. He just messaged me right now. It's a minute.
Hey Johnny, sorry man, I'm just driving. Look, it's a hard one, man, because Rita's hasn't really been through much adversity. I'd say, like he had a real hard, tough fight, and he handled the fight well with Bruno Tarimo. And Bruno's just a workhorse, and he's tough as nails. He comes forward, so he boxed really well against Bruno. But Fleming being as crafty and as thing as he is, I think the age of Fleming, he's not done it for no fight, but yet he'll be there and he'll box and he'll use his craftiness. I think if Rita can match him on that and be intelligent as well, it could be, like I said, it's an interesting fight. Like, you just don't know how it's going to happen. His ball's still sharp enough and able to maintain for about 10 rounds. Obviously, with the hit out and kick of Jake Liley.
I'll share that. I'll share that in the Discord. John England's a great guy. He always returns my messages. It's always tough though when you ask a fighter an outcome and they have the shared opponent. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that with Errol. All the guys who fought Errol, they're all saying he's going to win. Of course they're going to say that. You know what I mean? Boxing politics. But where were we? Krause. Dude, I don't know. Troy Williamson, Callum Simpson to me, I can't. That kid lost me thousands of dollars in that last fight. So I don't really do no bet lists, but it's gonna be hard for me to pick him.
The
You know,
168-pound division in Europe, man, it's a lot of upsets in that. It's always a lot of upsets in that division. We had Bank when he upset Skull.
yep.
The Skull upset the Russian guy. That 168-pound in Europe is all, and they always not go the distance. I'm thinking now. I'm looking at my database.
I
That
think
one
Jacob Banks gonna stop. I think Jacob Banks gonna win by stoppage.
he violent, man. Hell, I remember, like I said, I love Bank. Bank made me some. He made Bank when I took him to knock out this early. He was like plus 500 to stop Skull, man. So I'm rocking with him, man. He made me. I love
Yeah,
that. He
yeah.
really-
This is as betters. If you're new to the channel, guys, this is something that, like, I'm not a big superstitious guy, but I'm a big pattern statistics guy, and I think Julius is as well. When you get a fighter, you have a fighter over time that you win on. it's kind of like a winning horse. You kind of ride with him until you start seeing the results. So Jacob Bank, that's why I brought Greatest Kraus up. Kraus was a guy that he's been getting featured on Matchroom. We've been winning for a while, and that's why I kind of feel bad betting against Butler because Butler's made us a lot of money on Eye of the Tiger by knockout this last 12 months. But you got to bet with your wallet. Javier Cito with a super chat is asking Julius and myself. Berlanga by stoppage 1 through 5 is plus 240. What are your thoughts, Julius?
I mean, when Butler gets stopped, it's never late. So
Early days.
he's never stopped past. Because I'm looking at his stoppages right now. He has never been stopped. Well, okay, the latest he been stopped when he fought Voney, that was in the 7th round. So yeah, that's great, man. Because I think Butler is like, look, man, this is the last hurrah. I don't think they can rebuild him after this. Maybe they can. Hey, some of these promotional companies, man, they keep. Like I said, man, I thought Chisora was done 10 years ago. So,
Same.
uh,
I
so,
thought Wilder was done 10 years ago.
so,
You never know.
I, I
I thought Errol was done. I'm shocked that I'm about to get to see Errol fight live. Like I'm super excited about it. But it's boxing, Julius. These things are. That's why our sport is so unpredictable, man. He's only
man,
30. He's only 30. You said maybe they'd have to rebuild him domestically, and then he just becomes once again. Let's say he gets stopped and gets rebuilt, then he just becomes a guy that like a gatekeeper sort you put up against younger dudes to see how they handle a big puncher. You know what I mean? And then he might end up as a guy who retires with like 10 plus knockout losses, which isn't good either.
it's and now like I said, man, I you gotta be pessimistic, man. In boxing, man. I remember I seen a video of this guy. He couldn't tie his shoes at 35, right? So I'm saying, like, you gotta understand, man, that the more you get knocked out, the more your deterioration. Like after every knockout, the chin, you get one. Like I said, we seen it with Joyce recently. And Butler, I could see Butler getting knocked out in a round. You're right. I could, because he's and this is the guy he's in. Also this is the play they do. The promotional companies. If y'all not picking up on this, every fighter that Butler's fought at 168 came up from 160 to 154. This is first fighter who's a full fledged 168. So
And Berlanga has good time. Berlanga has great timing. He does everything well at the world level. People like to hate him. Berlanga's timing and his hand speed. I think he's gonna, I think Butler is in for it, bro.
I could easily,
I don't hate this bet that Javier is presenting 1 through 5. I don't hate
yeah,
it at all.
easily see that. I mean, because
Yeah.
I don't see Berlanga. Berlanga, he made Team USA. I put that. I believe. If what I believe is correct, Dana White is trying to push Berlanga. Do you believe that? Do you think he
Yeah.
wants to push him?
Yes. Because he's polarizing. You know what I mean? Dana White is a businessman. Berlanga is going to get people watching his fights because they want him to lose. You know what I'm saying? And then he also has, people who follow him. He's polarizing. I think this matchup, especially the run that Butler has been on, and Berlanga coming off a loss, is made so Berlanga could sort of have that restart in bigger fights through Zuffa. I think it's perfect matchmaking to favor him.
And one thing I like with Dana White, everybody be shitting on Dana White. I like that with Zuffa. He doing what he didn't do with the UFC. You notice in the UFC, he went overseas and start bringing talent. But I like that in Zuffa. I said, man, the UFC never tapped into the Latino fan base. They have tried with a few people, but in the American fan base, you need to touch that Puerto Rican fan base. That Puerto Rican fan base on the eastern part of the country, man. That right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the fan that he tapping in. This guy, I see this guy here, man. Oh man, he's a guy I was just talking with. Yeah, he my dog of the week in this store.
Uh, are you? Am I distracting you, man? I didn't
You
mean to.
just
You
you brought
you
him up. I love it. Oh, I
you
love
got
that,
big
man.
eyed.
Yo, I
I
was like,
distracted you with the Dana White.
oh man, he my dog of the week. I was
This guy
hands
is-
down. I ain't got the
I'm gonna
odds
blame
yet.
that on J side. J side 2409, man. You took Julius's train of thought, and you guys are seeing eye to eye. I put this up
Man,
for our next chat. I want, but before we talk about this, Dana White had a chance because Mexico, 6, 7, 8 years ago, he had a young prospect contender, still one of my favorite strikers from Mexico, Yair Rodriguez. Striker, right? He's young in early 20s at the time. Star power, was already selling out, huge, massive following in Mexico. And Dana matches him with a former two-time two-division world champion wrestler in Frankie Edgar and just mauled the out of Yair, and Yair was had to take a couple years off. That never sat right with me. It's like, why would you like? You could have had Mexico, and then it took them another 6 years, I think, to find Mexico's first world champion and Brandon Moreno. But Moreno, in my opinion, great champion. I thought Yair Rodriguez had more star potential based off of his style. But the Puerto Rican fan base, you're spot on with that. I think that it's smaller, an island, but in America, it's probably bigger. I don't know the statistics of Puerto Ricans on the eastern U.S., but
cause I've been in New York doing Puerto Rican parade, man. Like nah, I remember a couple years. I said, man, this is I didn't know it was on that level. Like it was all like I was like, okay, this is why Trinidad. This is why uh um Trinidad uh
Kodo.
Kodo. This is
Yeah,
why they was yeah.
yeah,
It's like
yeah. One of
you
one of my
get you. You
yep,
get you one Puerto Rican superstar, man.
yep,
You selling out that garden
bro,
every time. Like
bro. One of
and
my
Dana White, he kept trying to go overseas. I get it, but I felt like he never ever tapped into that Mexican and Puerto Rican fan base, which is, be honest with you, is the blood of American boxing. That is. I mean, I mean, it is the bloodline of American boxing. If you take away the Puerto Rican and Mexican fan base from boxing, I don't think it survives in America. So I feel like he doing that with Zuffa. He got Rayo. He really tapping in. He getting the black fighters. He really tapping. Love what he doing with Zuffa. People shitting on it, but I love what he doing with Zuffa, man. I
same.
hope it's
Yeah, yeah. I can't argue that. I can't argue any of that. I think the matchmaking has been great. I think
Camacho.
I,
Yeah.
I, I think as betters, as gamblers, we're figuring them out. With each event, I'm getting better and better with reading. With, as we're seeing fighters that weren't household names fighting for a second time, we're getting better reads. You know what I mean? Like the kid who just knocked out Jay Benito, the kid from Oakland. Oh my God, Gersh, Tony Hirsch Jr. That's a diamond in the rough. Like I'm usually have my ear on the pulse of American domestic boxing, like globally. Like I'll very rarely not know a guy that is that talented. And Tony Hirsch Jr. comes on the scene when he beat Merriweather. I was like, who is this kid? I've never heard of him. And then Benito had that knockout as well, and then they fought, and Hirsch Jr. just totally dog walked him. So I do like what they're doing there. Talk to me about this fight. Jay Sai put it up. You got distracted. Keyshawn Davis versus Mahai Nister. Talk to me.
He is 35, I think 34. But the guy he's fighting, one thing Zuffa is doing, they really sweeping up that domestic American domestic untelevised club fights. He
Mm.
really getting some the stuff we can't know. You're right. We can't know about these people. They on the untelevised club shows. There's no way that we could keep really. They have no tape on them. And the guy he fighting the favorite. He has 11 wins, 11 knockouts. But it's like the American club scene is very skeptical. No, I see people in the chat saying, "Oh, he got amateurs, man." Hey, man, being a world amateur versus a club fighter, how many times I want to ask a chat, name me a club fighter in America who's beating world class amateurs. It rarely happens. Rarely. If ever. I can't, like I said, look at my database. I don't know none. I can't find, not to say it's never happened.
Yeah, yeah, because there's kind of a ladder. There's kind of there's a trajectory of a talent at that young age in which you either stay around a little while and make a run at the Olympics, or you make a choice to turn pro to get paid, and then you decide early on, are you going to be a road guy, a B side, a journeyman. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of that to it. This kid hasn't fought in 2 years though, boys. He's still alive in your book. This Nister guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, the other guy,
Keyshawn's 11-0, 11 knockouts, baby. Let's go.
that's
He's a heavyweight coming down too.
oh that record, like I said, that record, man, it's and you're right. People gonna say, well, you took Rios. I get it, but he was not. Man, this guy's not a world class amateur.
Let me
Um,
pause you real quick. I want to, Javier. I know Buck Smith was a journeyman in America in the late '90s, early 2000s. He was part of a trio of three fighters. It's a crazy story. I'm surprised no one's done a movie on this. He was part of a trio of guys who would travel around the U.S. doing fight after fight after fight. And like, look at his box rec. Buck Smith has like 28 no contests, 28 fights that were kind of flipped over after the fact for like fuckery going on. But you know, I think he has one good win. The guy has like almost what 100 knockouts, something crazy like that. One of the greatest journeymen of all time, Buck Smith. But the key, Kashawn Davis. So this dude's records, what is this? Fraudulent? What are we saying?
Man, that's you and I, we talk about like
Oh
that's a
my god, 3-20, bro. 3-21, 5-1. I don't even have to watch tape. He has no wins against a winning record.
and just being real, man. The club, like I said, I had went to a club fight in New Orleans. Man, come on, this is just saying, but I was like, no,
Bro,
these guys. I was
look at
telling.
his wins. Look at his wins. And he's the favorite.
And people see this right, and what I've been learning recently in other countries, the reason why those guys stay amateur so long, because I like why this is that they in other countries, if you stay on the amateur team, they give you housing, they give you food, they pay you way more than Team USA pay. That's why people that's why Devin Haney, everybody turned pro at 17. But in the other countries, Kazakhstan, or all the other
No,
man,
down
you
here, bro. I know my boy, my guy. I told you I coach. Who's in 19. Like there's him. He's teaching game. They get paid. They get all travels paid for. Some get rent. Some they get expenses. It's insane.
food,
I had no idea. Well, it's not
giving
like
you.
that in America.
Yeah, they giving you food. They give it's like be honest with you. Why would you even take? I get it. Why would you take a chance on professional boxing when you not gonna have a promoter? You're gonna be relegated to club fighters making nothing. When you know for a fact the government gonna support you, give you a house, pay, support your family. That's why what's now? I was looking at that dude. He stayed in the amateur so long, won 2 gold medals. Because I remember he
Loma,
said that Loma, the guy, he's a heavyweight guy,
there's a lot
heavyweight.
of them. A lot of
Uh,
European.
he knocked out Richard Torres in the amateurs.
Oh,
Jalov. He was like
Jalalov. Yeah,
he had the president would be with he would be with the president of Uzbekistan. You know what I'm saying? He had him.
yeah.
He had a Mercedes and everything. I was like, I feel why would you like he
Well,
did
well,
me?
because you know in those countries national pride means everything. To be able to represent your country and win, the Olympics are still a flex politically. You know what I'm saying? So when you have political leaders in part of, it could come down to bargaining tools and sort of leverage a gold medal. You know what I mean? That's why there's so much corruption in the IOCC is because of that. Not political leaders know this, and especially in boxing, you see it all the time in the European countries. Guys staying there because it means something. In America, it doesn't mean anything because I don't know. Maybe the fame thing in America is pretty intense. At least when I was a kid growing up, everyone wants to be famous. There's Hollywood, the entertainment industry. People want to flex. Representing your country, putting your flag on your shoulders as a fighter isn't the same flex as it is in other countries. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was the last American gold medalist to become a world champion in boxing?
That's 20 years ago. Andrew Ward.
There he is, brother. You got Andre
And
Ward.
you
Isn't
know,
that crazy that it's been that long?
and I'll see the reason why I've been looking at probably know this. The reason why I really I've been looking at that. I'm a teacher, and I've been telling other teachers. I said we need to bring boxing back into the schools, man. I see in England, I see in other countries, boxing is like every school has a football team, basketball team. In England and a lot of those other countries, European countries, the school has a boxing team. That's why I
Yeah.
think boxing, the amateur boxing scene in America, has fallen off because like yeah, I mean, like even when I was growing up in Alabama, Bro, how could he? If I could have got into amateur boxing, I would love. But it was no way that we could even get into it. For most people, if you're not in Philadelphia, New York, L.A., Houston, a few places in Ohio, man, most people in America like they have no chance to get there. And I was telling them, I said, man, we if we was to bring back boxing teams to schools, but I mean, everybody was like, oh no, everybody gonna get hit. You know, people nowadays, you know, in America, everybody want to be soft. They scared that all the kids gonna die that they get hit. You know, I ain't gonna lie, it would be some because I mean, but you have weight classes. But man, that's my thing. Like I've been trying to push that on the schools. But I said we need some form because I believe that would change it. Because I see in other countries, it's just so ingrained. And I see in Australia that amateur system is so supported by the government. You know what I'm saying? No, not in America and in Mexico. It's like it's why you never see a Mexican gold medal Olympics, but you see all these Mexican champions because there's no money in it. And then
Yeah.
it's why Canelo turned pro at 15. It's why Navarrete turned pro at 16. It's like why would you do it if you
Devin
ain't
Haney
really
had to go to Mexico when he was 17 to get those amateur fights. Brian Norman Jr., his first 10 fights were in Mexico. So, like, I always say this too. Also, everything you just said, I agree with. But you put boxing back in schools, the self respect, discipline. There'd be less bullying. Way more confident young men, knowing how to defend themselves. My dad took me to my first boxing gym when I was 7. I do come from a boxing town in Northeast Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. So Youngstown, but usually in America, the boxing towns are these gritty old steel towns. Philly, Youngstown, New York, little boroughs in New York City, Detroit, places where the economy really isn't striving, and it's sort of a mentality, cold weather towns of like it's an opportunity, and so
yeah.
uh,
The box because
yes.
I went to the Boston one of the Boston gyms in New Orleans, man. It was horrible, man. Like I was like, it's a reason why nobody. I could see we had Regis, but I went there and I went to a couple of the club shows. It's like I was like, all my friends know I'm big on boxing, and they was like, do you think any of these guys got a chance? I just laughed. I said, man, these dudes, they cannon fodder, man. Yeah, Kayshawn Davis. Y'all take this store right now, man. Whenever the miles drop, take this store. I'm telling y'all, you won't be Hey man, we eating lamb chops this weekend. That's my thing, man. I love lamb chops. We eating lamb chops this weekend, y'all. You feel me?
Before you leave though, before you leave, I want to let everybody know. Give me 1 second. Don't get off. All right, boys. We still got 87 of you guys in the chat, right? This is my boy Julius. He's a JSB insider. In the comment section right now, I'm putting his channel. It took me maybe 6 months. I was trying to get Julius to start his own channel for like 6 months. He finally did a couple days ago. If you're still in this chat, if you support me, if you support our community, follow Julius. This dude is in our Discord. We have about 600 guys just like Julius and I. He's one of our secret weapons. Support him, like his videos. He's a week into this journey. The more guys we have like Julius, the better we could get our message out about non-casual boxing. As you can tell, if you're still here 90 minutes in, we are fans of the greatest sport on earth. So follow Julius. Julius, what's your next video you're gonna be dropping?
Oh, I'm doing going live tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about, just dog hunting tomorrow. We're gonna do a little dog hunting.
Let's go. I think you guys talked me in. I think you, J Side, talked me into Nister. I might do some dog hunting, boys. All right. I gotta go. Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna relay the message. I might wear a little wire to my going to meet Paulie. I'm like, Paulie, let me know everything you know. I need insider information. I'll see you guys tomorrow, boys. Julius, thanks for that, brother.
All right, man.
Salute. All right, guys. 90 minutes in, a little later than usual. Appreciate the support. I always say our community is 100% the most educated boxing community out there. We're here to break the sport down and make money. Our receipts speak for themselves. We're not doing emotional betting. We're not betting with our heart. We're betting with our wallet. If you're not having fun betting, though, don't do it. If you're trying to bet in sort of, things aren't going your way, take a week off. There's UFC this weekend. You don't have to bet on every single fight. If you find that it's affecting your mental health, if it's affecting your relationships, if you're being a dickhead to your girl, if you're being a dickhead to your friends, don't bet. That's a sign that you got an issue. But I appreciate the support. Like the video. I'm gonna go kick it with Malinaji now down in Sydney. I'll be hitting the Discord up because I got some questions. I need to know about Fulton. And I'll see you guys in the next one.